I blew up my first YouTube channel by creating a new YouTube strategy that is not based on any YouTube advice found in the market. It's based on how world-leading founders like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Bill Gates are creating their companies. Since I was a little kid, I was fascinated by their thought process. And since at 14 I failed a gaming YouTube channel, I promised myself I will build something that allows any person to blow up their YouTube channel, even if they have zero experience. So today I want to reveal the entire strategy, because AI is getting scarier than ever regarding YouTube channels. So if you don't act now and blow up your YouTube channel fast, you could get wiped from YouTube forever. But before I explain the strategy, you need to understand why I even built it like this. Because when I looked at the YouTube advice in the market, most of it was just telling me what to do. Make better titles, make better thumbnails, make better hooks, improve your retention. Now, I'm not saying that advice is wrong, but it felt like I'm only getting surface level advice. Nobody was really explaining how to think about YouTube. And that was the part I really cared about, because when you looked at people like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or Bill Gates, or any founder who built something massive, they don't just copy tactics from the market. So I started looking into what they are actually doing to scale their companies, and that's when I found something called first principle thinking. Now I know that sounds complicated, but hear me out. The truth is, every big founder uses this to actually figure out what they should be working on. Let's say, for example, someone tasks you to build a $1 million business. That is a massive task. And the problem is you don't even know what to do. What's the first step? What's the second step? How to even get started? And this is where first principle thinking comes in. Instead of looking at the big goal and getting overwhelmed, you use first principle thinking to break it down into smaller chunks you can actually deal with. So let's use the same example. We want to build a $1 million business. Okay, so what do we need first? Well, we need a product that we can sell. And let's say we price that product at $1,000. Now the goal becomes much clearer. To make $1 million, we need 1,000 people buying $1,000 product. But then the next question becomes, how do we get 1,000 people to buy? And even that question is still too big. So how do we get one person to buy? But even that is not the first step, because before someone buys, they need to be interested. So now the question becomes, how do we get one person interested in the product? But even that is not the first step, because before someone is interested, we need to actually get in front of them. The real question is, how do I get to talk to one person who could be interested in this product? Now, look at what just happened. We took this massive idea of building a $1 million business and broke it down into something simple. Talk to one person, get them interested, build enough belief for them to buy, then repeat the process. And this is the whole point. If you can get one person interested, then you can learn how to get 10 people interested. If you can get one person to buy, you can learn how to get 10 people to buy. And if you can repeat that enough times, the big goal is not random anymore. It becomes a process. And that's how founders actually think. They don't stare at a big goal and hope it will work out. They break it down until they find the smallest action they can take right now. And once I understood that, I started applying the same thinking to YouTube. Because blow up a YouTube channel sounds complicated. But the real question is, what actually has to happen for one person to watch your video? And when you break it down, it becomes very simple. First, one person has to see your title and thumbnail on the home feed, then they have to click, then they have to listen to your hook, then they have to be interested enough to keep watching, then your script has to actually deliver value, and then at the end they have to feel like this person is actually worth listening to, and then maybe they will subscribe. And that's it. That's basically YouTube growth, when you actually break it down. And you don't need to make it more complicated than that. You need one person to click, then you need to make that person to stay after the hook, then you need to make that person stay until the end, then you need to make that one person like you enough that they come back to watch your content. And if you can do that to one person, then YouTube can show the video to 10 more people. And if you can do it with those 10 people, YouTube can show it to 100 more people, then 1,000, then 10,000, and then suddenly the video starts blowing up. And this is where it really clicked for me, because growing on YouTube is not some mysterious thing where you just pray to the algorithm gods that they like you. It's literally just this, like, can you get people through the journey? Can you get them to click? Can you get them past the hook? Can you get them to watch till the end? Can you get them like you? And can you get them subscribe and come back to watch your other content? And if you can do that, the algorithm has a reason to push your videos, because YouTube doesn't care about you, it cares about the viewer. If the viewer clicks, watches and enjoys the video, YouTube gets the signal that that video is good. So in my head, when I realized it, I was like, okay, this is it. I finally understood the game, so I went ahead and created a video using the exact way of thinking, and the video started getting results. I started getting actually traction, and I was insanely happy because I thought I actually cracked the code. And to be transparent with you, that video which I created still performs to this day, mainly because it was search optimized, but it's still an amazing achievement. And that's besides the point. The important part is I thought I have the answer. So I used the same thinking to create another video. I had a good idea, good title, good thumbnail, good hook, and actually good script, and it flopped. I was like, okay, something was wrong here. Let's do another one. Again, good title, good idea, good thumbnail, good script, good everything. And again, it flopped. Then I was like, something is wrong here. So then I started to question a little bit this way of thinking, but I created another video and the same thing happened. It flopped. And I thought everything was strong, but the video still underperformed. And that's when I really got confused because in my head, I have broken down YouTube growth, I understood the steps, I knew what had to happen, but I still couldn't understand why one video worked and another didn't. And this is actually the part most creators get stuck in. They know the pieces, they understand that titles, thumbnails, hooks, scripts matter, but when a video flops, they don't know which piece actually broke. And usually then they start guessing, like maybe the title was bad, maybe the thumbnail, maybe the hook, maybe the pace or whatever. And that was the exact problem I ran into as well. Like I understood the parts, but I didn't yet understand how each part affected the other. And around that time, I was studying more business again, and that's when I came across the second principle that changed everything for me. And it's called throughput. And again, this sounds way more complicated than it actually is. So let me explain it with something simple. Imagine one of those green pipes from Mario. Mario is not important here, just imagine the pipe. Now imagine water going into the pipe, and because this is a normal pipe, every 100 liters that enters, 100 liters is going to come out. But YouTube does not work like one simple pipe. And the reason for that is because YouTube is a complicated system. Just as we talked, growing on YouTube is complex. And what throughput talks about is you can imagine these complicated systems as simple pipes next to each other. So something like this, water going into the pipes, and the complicated systems has more pipes, and water is coming out at the end of the pipe. Now what you need to understand is you could call these different pipes as different stages. Now what's super important to understand about throughput is between these stages, some of the water is passing through, but some of them stays. So let me draw it down for you. This is basically the 100-liter water. Now because only one part of the water enters the second stage, this is going to be kind of like this full, compared to being fully full. And because again, we enter another stage, we are going to have even less water in this. And the thing that's going to come out is the exact amount that's in the last stage. Now why I'm saying this is because if you think about YouTube as a complex system which has multiple stages, at every stage some people are going to keep going and some people drop off. So the amount of people who enter the pipe is not the same amount of people who come out at the end. And that is what throughput means in this context. It's basically asking how much actually makes it through the system. So let me give you a simple example so it's fully clear. Let's say the start of the pipe is 100 people seeing your YouTube video on their home feed. And the end of the pipe is how many people actually click. So now we have two stages. Stage number 1 is how many people see the video, and stage number 2 is how many people click the video. In between these two stages, there is a conversion rate. That conversion rate in this scenario is your click-through rate. Now, take this with a pinch of salt, but a good performing YouTube video might get around 5 to 9% click-through rate. So, if 100 people see your video, maybe 5 to 9 people actually click. So that means 100 people entered that part of the pipe, but only 5 to 9 came out on the other side. And that is throughput. It's not just how many people enter, it's how many people make it through the next stage all the time. And now we can apply this to the full YouTube video. Because once someone clicks, the journey is not over. They still have to listen to your hook, then they have to stay after the hook, then they have to watch the main part of the video, then they have to feel like the video was valuable, and then maybe they subscribe. So the full YouTube pipe looks something like this. They see the video on the home feed, they click on your video, they listen to your hook, they watch the main part, they feel like it's valuable, and they subscribe, and most likely they are going to come back to watch another one, either immediately after watching your video or only later. And again, between each stage there is a conversion rate. Some people see the video, but some people click. Some people click, but some people leave while watching the hook. Some people survive the hook, but some people get bored in the script. Some people watch the whole thing, but don't really care enough to subscribe. And some people feel like this is actually valuable, and some people will subscribe because they feel like it's actually valuable. And once I understood this, I realized the mistakes I was making. I was looking at my videos as one big thing. Like this video worked and another didn't. But that's not specific enough. Because if the video flops, the question is not, was the video bad? The real question is, where did the pipe actually break? Did enough people see the video but not click? Then the issue is probably the idea, the title, or the thumbnail. Did people click but then leave in the first 30 seconds? Then the issue is probably the hook. Did people stay after the hook but slowly drop off? Then the issue is probably the script, the pacing, or the explanation. Did people watch but not subscribe or come back? Then the issue is probably that the value wasn't unique enough, or they didn't really connect with you enough. And this is where everything changed for me, because now I wasn't guessing anymore. I could look at the video and ask which stage has the biggest drop off. And what you really need to understand is in which stage there is the problem will define your video. If 100 people see your video but only 2 click, then it does not matter how good your script is, only 2 people are even getting there. And the flow already died at the start. But if a lot of people click, then everyone leaves during the hook, then your title and thumbnail did their job. The problem is the hook. And if people stay through the hook but leave during the explanation, then the problem is not the hook, the problem is how you're delivering your value. So instead of improving on random things, I started improving the part of the pipe that was actually leaking. If my click-through rate was low, I was focused on the idea, the thumbnail, the title. If people clicked but didn't stay, I was focused on the hook. If people stayed after the hook but dropped later, I was focused on the script. If people watched but did not subscribe, I focused on making the value more unique and making them like me more as a person. And this is how I was able to grow much faster, because I wasn't just saying like, I need to make better videos. That basically means nothing. I was saying this specific stage is broken, so this is the only thing I need to fix right now. And that's basically the founder way of growing a YouTube channel. You don't fix everything at once. You find the bottleneck, you fix it. Then the next bottleneck shows up, then you fix that. And if you keep doing that, your entire channel starts improving fast. So now you might be asking like, okay, Robert, this actually makes a lot of sense. I understand YouTube through first principles, through throughput, and I understand if I want to blow up my YouTube channel, I need to improve on the stage that is actually currently broken. So now the real question becomes, how do you improve on each stage? How do you come up with better ideas? How do you improve your titles and your thumbnails? How do you write better hooks? How do you create scripts that people actually watch? And how do you make viewers subscribe and come back again? That's exactly what I break down in this video. The full 7-hour YouTube course where I go through every single stage of this pipeline in excruciating detail. If you want a full video breakdown, click this video right here. Or if you want me to personally look at your YouTube channel and show you what's broken, you can book a one-on-one call with me using the first link in the description below. Peace.